ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ
मैं मूर्ख की केतक बात है, कोट पराधी तरियारे। गुरु नानक जिन सुनिया पेख्या, से फिर गरबास ना परियारे। गुरु नानक जिन सुनिया पेख्या, से फिर गरबास न परियारे। जप तप संजम धर्म ना कमाया, सेवा साधना जान्य हर राया। कहो नानक हम नीच कर्मा, शरण पर की राख हो शर्मा। तेरे कवन कवन गुण कह कह गावा, तू साहिब गुणी निधाना। तुमरी महिमा बर न सको, तू ठाकुर ऊच भगवाना। तुमरी महिमा बर न सको, तू ठाकुर ऊच भगवाना। तेरे गुण बहुते मैं एक ना जानिया, मैं मूर्ख किच दीजे। प्रणवत नानक सुन मेरे साहिबा, डुबदा पत्थर लीजै। प्रणवत नानक सुन मेरे साहिबा, डुबदा पत्थर लीजै। सतगुरु जी गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी महाराज ਦੇ ਪਾਵਨ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣੇ ਮਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਹੱਥ ਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਬਖਸ਼ੀ ਹੋਈ ਫਤਿਹ ਰਲ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਗੱਜ ਵੱਜ ਕੇ ਸੋ ਬੁਲਾਓ ਫਤਿਹ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। With the grace of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, blessed us with this sama to go through har kiyan katha kahaniyan gurmeet sunaiyan. With Guru Sahib's kirpa, 2 weeks ago we started to go through how this Shabad has always been the Guru from the very beginning. And the journey of that Shabad, how it then in 1708 came to sit upon the throne and to become the eternal Guru, Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. And last week, the thing that 2 weeks ago that we finished off on was how Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah Maharaj Ji themselves, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah Maharaj Ji actually went to Baba Mohan Ji, which is the eldest son of Guru Amar Das Ji Padshah, ਜਦੋਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਪੋਥੀਆਂ ਲੈਣ ਗਏ ਸਨ and ਉੱਥੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਉਚਾਰੀ and they sang beautiful kirtan which we went through in detail, so that I'm not going to touch on now, so we can actually move on. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah Ji Maharaj Ji collects all the Bani and comes back to that Pavan Pavitra Dharti of Amritsar. And when Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah come back to Amritsar, then they find a place with a nice breeze flowing, with beautiful trees around them, a nice atmosphere. With fresh air, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah find which is approximately about 1 kilometer away from Harmandir Sahib. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah goes and sits upon this place. Below this beautiful tree, jithe Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah ne Sukhmani Sahib di Bani uchari today, which is known as Ramsar. There's 5 sarovars in that place. Amongst those 5 sarovars, this is one of the sarovars of Ramsar. This is where Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah Ji Maharaj Ji sat. They put all the Bani together. तो उत्थे Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah ne aap Padshah Ji Bani बोलते ने, and Bhai Gurdas Ji उत्थे Bani लिखते ने. Bhai Gurdas Ji, I've probably gone through it in the other weeks just to remind everyone who Bhai Gurdas Ji is. Bhai Gurdas Ji reste karke Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah Ji de Mama Ji lagde ne. So they are the maternal uncle of Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah. Is the cousin of Bibi Bhani Ji, which is Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah Ji's Mata Ji mother. And Bhai Gurdas Ji is the son of Bhai Hardas, which is the brother of Guru Amar Das Ji Padshah. So making Bhai Gurdas Ji the nephew of Guru Amar Das Ji Padshah. And that's how Bhai Gurdas Ji was related. And that's why when we use Bhai Gurdas Ji's Vara as a reference, we can know that they are the closest that we are going to get to when we read the Vara to the Itihas and the Sakhiyan of that time, of the Guru's time. Because then Baba Buddha Ji, obviously being all the way from Guru Nanak Padshah, Bhai Gurdas Ji would sit with Baba Buddha Ji, and then Baba Buddha Ji would narrate Sakhiyan that they aap akhi jadiyan gallan vekhiyan san Baba Buddha Ji ne. And the things that Baba Buddha Ji would have heard from people like Bhai Mardana Ji themselves when Bhai Mardana Ji travelled with Guru Nanak Padshah, Bhai Gurdas Ji ne fir oh varan de roop de andar naal kabit vi uchare Bhai Gurdas Ji ne. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah, which is now called that place of Ramsar, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah Ji Bani ucharde ne, aapdi vi Bani they are putting into, and they are creating this Granth. Why did Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah take this decision to actually start to compile a Granth, Guru Sikh Pyareo? Because at that time, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah Ji's brother, Baba Prithi Chand, he had moved to a place called Hehari. This was the village of his wife. And over there, he started to imitate and make a Gurdwara, a Harmandir, which is very similar to Harmandir Sahib. And he even made a sarovar around it. And how we've got Dukhberi Panjani over in Harmandir Sahib, he makes something called Dukh Nivaran. He starts to imitate exactly Harmandir Sahib, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah Ji's brother does. And not only does he start imitating Harmandir Sahib and the Sarovar, his son was a great poet. His son's name was Meherban. Baba Prithi Chand's son's name was Meherban. He was a great poet, and he starts to now write what they were calling Bani. And this is where this word came from. Sachi Bani and Kachi Bani. And this is what then Meherban's poems would be referred to as being Kachi Bani, not the writings of Guru Nanak Padshah. And as he was writing, what he would do is he even wrote something called Ad Mahabharat in there. So he would write about what we see today. Many of you may have even seen the series of Mahabharat that happened of Krishnaji's time, and which is from Dwapar Jug. And he wrote Bani in there, which he was calling Bani, and he put things in there called Ad Mahabharat. He put things in there called Ad Ramayan. So he wrote the whole tales of the time of Ramji as well from Tripta Jug. And he even wrote things called Piran de Var. So things that from Muslim saints, he was starting to put their things together. And even when Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah, when Padshah Ji was going through things that were going to actually be Bani, and there were certain Bhagats that came of that time, which their Bani didn't match with the concept of Guru Nanak Padshah, and Guru Arjan Dev Ji Padshah didn't actually put it in, and then Meherban actually didn't put it into his Granth. He even wrote about people like Jesus in there, other prophets in there, Meherban was. So what he was doing, he was trying to please everybody. So this wasn't Khasam Ki Bani. This wasn't Jaisi Mein Aave Khasam Ki Bani, Ta Sada Kari Gyan Be Lalo. These weren't the words of direct words of Akal Purkh Waheguru Ji. So he was writing this Granth to please other people. And what started to happen, there were certain things he wrote in praise of a Bhagat of that time. He wrote something in praise of that Bhagat, and he put Guru Nanak Parkash Ji's pad in there, name in there at the end, saying that Guru Nanak Parkash is loching, is yearning for the dust of this Bhagat's charan. So he started to then add even Guru Nanak Parkash's name within his Bani. And this is when the confusion started to happen. And there was a time, they say, that in the Darbar of Harnall Sahib, that somebody actually was reading a Shabad, doing Kirtan, thinking that it is Gurbani of the Guru Sahibs, but it was actually something that was written by Meherban. Why? The confusion started to come because Nanak's name was added right at the bottom. So this is in the end when Guru Arjan Dev Ji Parkash Ji said that something needs to be done about this. But Udavi, that each Dharam out there have their own Granth. Whether it be the Bible, whether it be the Quran, but something unique about Guru Nanak's path, this was compiled by the Guru himself. In Gursikh Pyareo, and when Guru Arjan Dev Ji Parkash, when they completed and they left with their empty ang in there, they left empty pages in there. Reason why? Because they were saving those for Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji's Bani. And today that same Granth, Sri Adi Granth Sahib, that is called Sri Adi Granth Sahib, and today it is still in a place called Kartarpur Sahib, which is under the power of the Tir Maliye, which Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji, which we went through in the Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji's life, that Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji told by Makhan Shah Labana to return that Granth back to Tir Maliye, because they had it in their possession and Makhan Shah Labana took it by force. So Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji Maharaj Ji said, because you've taken it off them by force, you need to give it back. But it's still, they've still got it. So the Panth hasn't actually got it. It's somebody called the Tir Maliya that have got it. They give darshan of that Sarup once a year on Vaisakhi. I don't know if they still do. But Das, when I went to India 3 years ago, I had darshan of that same Sri Adi Granth Sahib, which is written by Bhai Gurdas Ji. And on Vaisakhi, and it's handwritten, I got to do darshan of it. And over there, within this Granth as well, they've got a painting of Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Parkash, which is said to be of that time. Somebody has painted this. So Khair, Guru Sikh Pyaro, something great that Guru Arjan Dev Ji Parkash did. Right at the end, on Ang 1429, something that Guru Arjan Dev Ji Parkash did this Bani. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Parkash has contributed the most Bani, the most Shabads. Even though Guru Arjan Dev Ji Parkash ne inni Bani uchari, approximately there's exactly 1430 Ang of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, and lagpag karke, they say there's nearly about 700 Angs, which is the Bani of Guru Arjan Dev Ji Parkash. How much Bani? Remember that time when we went through, when Guru Amar Das Ji Parkash Ji said, Dohita Bani ka Bohita. They said he is the boat of Bani. When Guru Arjan Dev Ji Parkash was merely crawling at that time. But Guru Sikh Pyaro, inni Bani uchar ke, the last Shabad that Guru Arjan Dev Ji Parkash contributed and put on Ang 1429. Parkash कहने लगे, कहते हे ओ वाहिगुरु जी, कहते तेरा कीता जातू नहीं, कहते तेरा कीता जातो nahi. This is, oh Vaheguru Ji, I do not know how great you are. Tera kita, everything you are doing, I can never know. Jato nahi, main nahi janda. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Parkash कहने लगे, कहते तुसी ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਮੇਤੋਂ ਕਿਸ ਢੰਗ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਰਾ ਲਿਆ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੇਰਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਤੋ ਨਾਹੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜੋਗ ਕੀਤੋਈ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ make me worthy. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Parkash is saying, to know how great you are. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Parkash is saying, I don't know why you took so much pity on me. Tars paya mehramat hui. This says you took so much pity on me to write something like this. I can never know how great you are, O Vaheguru Ji. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Parkash, with so much nimrata, writes this as the last Shabad. When this was completed and the Bani of the Bhagats was put into, which was collected over the travels of Guru Nanak Parkash Ji travelling. There's two ways people have said this. that Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha blessed by Gurdas Ji with the darshan of the Bhagats, and he got to hear this Bani directly from the mouth of the Bhagats at that time. And Bhai Gurdas Ji wrote it. Aaj par aam karke sangatan vich, there's a lot of people that haven't got the Shraddha to hear these type of things. There's a lot of people that haven't got this love and bhavna and this faith to hear these type of sakhiyan. So Khair Guru Sikh Pyareo, coming back. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha compiles and chooses somebody called Bhai Banno Ji to compile Sri Adi Granth Sahib Ji. Bhai Banno Ji goes out to Lahore and compiles Sri Adi Granth Sahib Ji. Bhai Banno Ji brings back the compiled version, Guru Sikh Pyareo, and Ote Fe. This Adi Granth Sahib Ji is put on the throne in Harmandir Sahib Ji, on a beautiful manjis, decorated with ramale, rakhya gaya. Guru Sikh Pyareo, the first Granthi that Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha Ji appointed themselves. Kisane swal puchya, somebody asked a question about a year ago, what should our Gurdwara be like today? Guru Sikh Pyareo to man vich khayal aaya that our Gurdwara should be like this, that when we walk in and when we go to our Granthi Singhs, that we can see Baba Buddha Ji in that Granthi. We can feel that this Granthi is the pillar of Sikhi. You can feel that this is the heart of Sikhi, because Baba Buddha Ji nu var mile Guru Nanak Parkash kende thamne Sikhi. This is the limit of Sikhi, Baba Buddha Ji. This is what we should feel when we walk into a Gurdwara Sahib today. This is what we should feel at the Granthi Singhs. And don't worry if we're thinking we don't feel this today. When we're thinking ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਦੂਰ ਹੋ ਗਏ, ਆਪਾਂ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰੀਏ ਕਿ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਬਣਾ ਦਿਓ. People say there's so many negative things that idaya, and say, look, let's stop looking at those things. Let's do ardas. That the Sikhi that we say that Sikhi should be like this. Why don't we do ardas that we can become like that? That example we're trying to look for outside, why not let us become that example that we want to see from somebody else? Let us become that. We want to be able to go and sit with somebody like Bhai Gurdas Ji when we walk into a Gurdwara, full of wisdom. Feel that we've got that shoulder. Baba Buddha Ji was appointed as the first Granthi. And the first Hukamnama that came when Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha said the words, they didn't say take Hukamnama, they said Buddha Ji, can they awaz lo? Can they let us hear the voice, the awaz of the Guru speaking now? And the Hukamnama came, Santa ke karj aap khaloya, har kam karavan aya Ram. Santa ke karj aap khaloya. Over here, we can even translate the word Sant here to the Guru. That Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha did this work, compiled this Granth, and Santa ke karj, in this work, that who came, who was in between, who was right in the middle of this work? Vaheguru Ji Akal Purkh himself. Har kam karavan aya Ram, that Ram came himself to do this work through Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha Ji. Guru Sikh Pyareo, Tart Suhabi, Tal Suhava. And that place, Tart Suhavi, where did this take place? In that beautiful place of Amritsar, of Harmandir Sahib. Such a beautiful place, even if you go today, you can feel such an immense energy. Tart Suhavi, Tal Suhava, Tal meaning the Sarovar, which Amrit Jal Shaya Ram. That within this, that Sarovar, when you go to Harmandir Sahib, you can feel it's not just water, that it's actually Amrit, because so much Bani is going into it. And that Dharti, Guru Sikh Pyareo, ek apna sreer bhi dharti ya. This body is like that land. Let's make our body like Harmandir Sahib. Tart Suhavi, let's make this body beautiful so that inside what can happen? Tal Suhava, Tal mean the pool of our heart. Suhava, let's make that beautiful, enshrine it with good virtues. How do we do that? Which Amrit Jal Shaya Ram, which Amrit Roop, which Naam Roop Amrit Paake in our heart. Let's fill it with Vaheguru Ji's name. and make it beautiful, our heart, so that Akal Purkh Vaheguru Ji can come and sit here. Gursikh Pyare, if we look at a Gurdwara Sahib today, har mandir eho sareer hai gyan ratan pargat hoye, that the true har mandir, Hari da mandir, the temple of God, the true temple of God is this body. Where did Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha take the design from for har mandir Sahib? Kadi sochya? If we look at the dome, if you look at the gomat, right underneath the gomat, underneath the dome, sits who? If you look at Harmandir Sahib today, who sits directly underneath Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji? Where Sri Adi Granth Sahib Ji sat on the throne as well. Where did Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha take this design from? Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha ne manukh ton liya this design. They looked at a perfect, a sampuran banda. What is the gomat, Gursikh Pyare? What is the dome? The dome is our dastar. Where is it that Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji sit right beneath this dome, this crown? Is in our heart. Right underneath where Guru Granth Sahib Ji sits in Harmandir Sahib, our body is a Harmandir. Gurbani is saying this, Harmandir eho sareer hai. Kende eh sareer hi Harmandir hai pyareo. Kende within your heart, give Vaheguru Ji Akal Purkh, give Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha a place to sit within your heart, Gursikh Pyareo. Right underneath the dome of the star. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha took this design from a manukh. Khair Gursikh Pyareo. Sama langda gaya, and as time went by, a lot of people started to talk about this Granth that was put together. Jehde chugalkor hunde ne na, the gossipers, they start to gossip. The gossipers start to gossip people like Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha Ji's brother himself, Prithi Chand, people like Chandu, jehda rishta Pacha ne inkar kar dita siga. Chandu, people like Chandu start to speak, and inhone jaake qaziyan nu chakkya. They went and gossiped to the qazis of that time's emperor, who was Akbar. Akbar nu keh ditta qaziyan ne ke is granth vich na kende ke Muhammad Sahib di kende nindya likhi hai. They've downgraded Muhammad Sahib in here. They've written many negative things about our dharma. And Gursikh Pyareo, Akbar, even though he had so much satkar and respect for the house of Guru Nanak, because he went himself and sat in the langar of Guru Amardas Ji Pacha, but Akbar de man vich aaya ke nahi vekh lena chahida, know that I should take a look myself. As he was coming and crossing nearby to Amritsar, he went to a place called Batala. Othe Akbar ne fi bulaya apne qaziyan nu bhej ke. They said, go and call Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha and tell him to bring this Granth that he's compiled and put together. I want to test it and what's in it. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha ne Bhai Gurdas Ji nu, Baba Buddha Ji hunna nu, hor sikkhan nu kiha, kende tusi ja ke kende Akbar nu kende man di tasalli karao. Go and take the Granth to Akbar yourself. Guru Arjan Dev Ji uthe aap nahi gaye. Baba Buddha Ji ne Bhai Gurdas Ji hune hor 3-4 Sikh ikkathe ho ke uthe gaye fe. And when they went to Akbar, Akbar ne satkar dita, he gave a lot of respect, and he says, I want to see what's written in this Granth. So Akbar said, I want you to randomly open this Granth and read something out. Bhai Gurdas Ji comes forward. Bhai Gurdas Ji ne jadon Sri Adi Granth Sahib Ji jadon from the center, like we would take Hukamnama today, this is what Bhai Gurdas Ji did. And randomly they started to sing out a Shabad. And that Shabad Gursikh Pyareo was by Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha. And now all the chugalkor, all the gossipers are sitting there. Akbar is sitting there. And what is the Shabad that comes forward? Khak noor kardang alam duniyae, Jimi asman darakat aab paida is khudaye. Gursikh Pyareo, Akbar, his first language is Farsi. He speaks Persian, his first language, Gursikh Pyareo. And the Shabad that came out randomly by Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pacha is in Persian. Khak noor kardang alam duniyae, khak meaning the mitti, the earth. Khak noor kardang, they're talking about how everything was created. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Paatshah Maharaj is, within this dust, Khak Noor Kardang Alam Duniya, and this whole world was created through this light. What was created? Asman. And they're saying these things were created at that point. Guru Sahib, Asman meaning the sky, Jimmy meaning the earth. Asman, Jimmy, Drakat, the trees. Ab meaning the water. Paidais, Khudai, that Khudai himself, he created all of this, Guru Sikh Pyareo. Akbar smiles. He smiles because Guru Arjan Dev Ji has spoke to him within his own language. And then Akbar is already satisfied, Guru Sikh Pyareo. But the gossip is on. They've already pre-picked what way they're going to read out. They just want us to hear these things. And then Akbar says, very respectfully to Bhai Gurdas, he says, is it okay that one of the qazis, is it okay if he points out where he wants you to read from? And Guru Arjan Dev Ji Paatshah, Maaf Karna, and Bhai Gurdas Ji is saying, of course that's fine. So the qazi points out and says, read something from this section. Bhai Gurdas Ji then turns over, Guru Sikh Pyareo. Bhai Gurdas Ji turn over and they start to read, Alhe agam khudai bande shod khyal duniya ke tande. Again in Farsi. Dusra shabd again by Guru Arjan Dev Ji. Alhe agam khudai bande. This is written by Kavi Santokh Singh. This is written in our history. They're using all the words to describe and praise Akal Purkh that the Muslims would use. Allah Agam Khudai Bande. Saying this banda, this servant, I am a servant of yours. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Paatshah is saying, oh Allah, what is Allah? What does Allah mean? Allah comes from the word Allah. Allah means the one that is from the right, the very beginning. Sab to pehla. That's what Allah means. And the way they actually say is Allah. And Allah means Allah. Sab to pehla jada Akal Purkh, the one that is before everybody else. Allah Agam. Agam meaning that is out of our reach. Jada gaman nahi kita ja sakda. Gaman means that comes within our reach. But He is Agam. He's beyond our reach. He's beyond the reach of these senses. Nanak se akhdiyan bayan jini dasando ma piri. Those eyes, they are separate from these physical eyes that see Waheguru Ji Akal Purkh. Alhe agam khudai bande. Khudai. Khudai is another word that the Muslims use to praise Waheguru Ji Akal Purkh. What does khudai mean? What does khuda mean? Khuda means khud to banaya. It's the same as sapang. Khud to banaya. His sutte prakash, nobody created Waheguru, he came from himself. He's self-illuminated. That's what khuda means. Alhe agam khudai bande shod khyal duniya ke tande. And he's saying shod khyal. Give up these thoughts. Shod khyal duniya ke tande. These affairs, these worldly affairs that you are stuck in, and Akbar felt that it's been said to him. I'm getting stuck in these gallan. And Guru Arjan Dev Ji is saying to me, Tu shade hai gallanu. Shod khyal duniya ke tande. It's a very long shabad. If you used to go home and read this shabad, Guru Arjan Dev Ji actually go through each practice that a Muslim does throughout his day. And Akbar gets even happier. Within that same shabad is a pankti saying, Sach nivaj yakeen musala. It's saying if you want to do namaz, it's actually even telling them how to do namaz in this shabad. Talking to Akbar direct. It's saying if you want to do namaz, don't only read the Quran and let it be empty, but instead, Sach nivaj. Saying make sure you bring truth into your life. Sacha acharan. Pure actions. Make sure you don't forget to have pure actions in your life. Don't only read the Quran. Don't only do the namaz empty. But make sure each action of yours becomes pure too. Sach nivaj yakeen. Musla is the prayer mat that the Muslims use. And Guru Arjan Dev Ji Paatshah is saying, don't only use the physical prayer mat in your life. Don't forget to bring yaqeen into your life. Yaqeen meaning faith. Bring faith into your life too. That Waheguru Ji Akal Purkh actually exists, and that it goes for us as well. Have yaqeen on Guru Nanak Parkash Ji's Bani. Guru Sikh Pyare, what are we waiting for? Have faith in Guru Nanak's Bani. Have faith in Guru Nanak's path. Yaqeen karo. Don't just read your Bani empty, but believe and have faith in each word of Guru Nanak Parkash Ji's Bani. Gursikh Pyareo. This shabad comes, and Akbar is smiling and nodding his head. And the Qazis are raging in anger. And they're saying, no. They said, we're not satisfied. We want to hear further. And the Qazi says, we want to pick the shabad ourselves. We don't know what he's doing. And Akbar puts his hands together and says to the Sikhs of the Guru, is it okay if I let one of my Qazis, if I let one of them do it himself? But Bhai Gurdas Ji says, this home is open to all. Bhai Gurdas Ji says, remember, if you come to Harmandir Sahib, we've got 4 doors, everybody is welcome. Of course you can, Bhai Gurdas Ji said. Doesn't matter what walk of life you come from. And then the Qazi picks, and as soon as he looks down, he starts to read. What does he start to read? Koi bole Ram Ram. And the Qazi's head starts to go down. Gursikh Pyareo. This is the power that the Guru is Sakhyat. And people call it a book, but Baba Nand Singh Ji would say, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛ ਕੇ ਵੇਖੋ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਹ ਬੁੱਕ ਆ ਕਿ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਹ ਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਆਪ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਤੱਖ ਬੈਠਾ ਆ. Baba Nand Singh Ji would say, this is why don't you see through my eyes? ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਵੇਖਦਾ ਆ. And then he starts to read, ਕੋਈ ਬੋਲੇ ਰਾਮ ਰਾਮ ਕੋਈ ਖੁਦਾਏ. ਤੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰੋ ਅਕਬਰ ਅੱਤ ਦੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ. ਕੋਈ ਸੇਵੇ ਗੋਸਈਆਂ ਕੋਈ ਅਲਾਹੇ. Gursikh Pyareo, Akbar da ithe sees chuk gaya. He puts his head down. Sees chuk gaya, and uthe one soni di mora kad ke, and he takes out gold coins and he gives peta to Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Uthe peta rakh ke uthe Akbar ne ta kehn laga, say my namaskar to Guru Arjan Dev Ji, to you Guru Gursikh Pyareo. Kehndi, I'm satisfied. This is the Bani. Bani Guru, Guru hai Bani, which Bani Amrit Sare. The Bani is our Guru, the Bani is alive. I was just telling the Singhs now, Gursikh Pyareo, last week, I got off the plane at 10 o'clock in the morning. Huni das ke hatya ithe Singha nu. Sari raat, it was a night flight and I hadn't slept. And I thought I'll get back to the Singh's house. ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਸਿੰਘਾ ਮੈਂ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁਣ I'm not going to stay here. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਛੇਤੀ ਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਰ ਪਣਾ ਇੱਥੋਂ. And he said, no, don't worry. He goes, Jagraj Singh is going to come. He goes, ਤੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਕੁ ਸਮਾਂ ਸੌਂ ਕੇ ਨਾ. He goes, why don't you rest for a few hours, meet Jagraj Singh, and then we'll let you go by 3 o'clock. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਚੱਲ ਠੀਕ ਆ. ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਪੈ ਗਿਆ, and 45 minutes, I could hear somebody smashing the door down. And you know, when you're totally just knocked out, I hadn't slept all night. It was a 9-hour flight back from Calgary. And I was thinking, ਕੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ? ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੌਣ ਬੰਬ ਸਿੱਟਣ ਲੱਗ ਪਿਆ. And Govind Singh, it's me. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ? ਪੌਣੇ ਘੰਟੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਹੀ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਜਗਰਾਜ ਸਿੰਘ ਆ ਗਿਆ. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਚੱਲ ਠੀਕ ਆ. ਮੈਂ ਥੱਲੇ ਆਇਆ. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਣਾ ਆ. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ I'm going to leave. I came down to see Jagraj Singh. ਮਾਂ ਜੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ 2 ਘੰਟੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਰਹੇ ਤੇ ਜਗਰਾਜ ਸਿੰਘ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਿੰਘ, it's the last day of the Waheguru course in the city today. Because why don't you come and see the city Sikhs in central London? ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਅੱਛਾ. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾਣਾ ਸੀ ਵਾਪਸ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ I said, Pachangi's waiting for me. ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਲਾ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮਸਾ ਹੀ ਤਾਂ ਚਾਂਸ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਆ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਸਟੇਜ ਤੇ ਬੋਲਣ ਲਈ. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਚੱਲ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਚਲੋ ਭਾਈ. And I thought ਚੱਲ ਗੱਡੀ 'ਚ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਆ. 6 ਵਜੇ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਰ ਪਏ. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਗੱਡੀ ਕਿੱਧਰ? ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ, we going on the tube. ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਟ੍ਰੇਨ ਟਰੂਨ ਤੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਪਾਸੇ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਗੱਡੀ ਗੁੱਡੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਚੱਲਦੀ. ਸੋ we've gone on to the underground. ਉੱਥੇ ਟ੍ਰੇਨ ਭਰੀ ਪਈ. ਖੜ ਕੇ ਗਏ. ਘੰਟਾ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ. got to central London. 7 ਵਜੇ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ. beautiful venue overlooking the London Bridge and everything. ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਲੱਗਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਹੌਲੀਡੇ ਕਰਨ ਆ ਗਿਆ. ਉੱਥੇ ਮੈਂ ਫੋਟੋਆਂ ਖਿੱਚਣ ਲੱਗ ਪਿਆ. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਵਾਈਫ ਨੂੰ ਜੈਲਸ ਕਰ ਦੇ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ. ਉਹਨੂੰ ਫੋਟੋਆਂ ਭੇਜੀਆਂ. she goes, what you doing? ਤਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਗਰਾਜ ਸਿੰਘ he gave a talk for about half an hour. ਅੱਧਾ ਕੁ ਘੰਟਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਗੱਲ ਗੁੱਲ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਡਿੱਗ ਪਣਾ ਆ. I hadn't slept for ਮੈਨੂੰ 2 ਦਿਨ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਸੀਗੇ on the go. ਮੇਰਾ ਸਿਰ ਚੱਕਰਾਉਣ ਲੱਗ ਪਿਆ. Everything started to spin. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਚੱਲ I better get up and join him. Joined in with some of the Q&A. ਉੱਥੇ ਨਾ we had a little break. They had all this posh food, this central London ਟਰੋਲੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀ ਕੁਛ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ. ਛੱਕ ਚੁੱਕ ਕੇ ਨਾ 9 ਵਜੇ and it was 9 o'clock and there was about half an hour left of the Q&A. ਤੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰੋ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਜਗਰਾਜ ਸਿੰਘ ਤੇ ਸ਼ਹਿਰਨ ਉੱਥੇ ਖੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਇਨ ਫਰੰਟ. ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਸੂਟਾਂ ਸਾਟਾਂ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਬੈਠੇ all these posh people and I was starting to ਸਾਰਾ ਸਿਰ everything started to spin. It felt like the whole floor was moving and I thought ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਮੈਂ ਡਿੱਗ ਪੈਣਾ ਆ. so ਮੇਰੇ ਤੋਂ ਹੁਣ ਖੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ. ਤਾਂ ਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਬੈਠਣ ਜੋਗਾ ਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਜਾਣ ਜੋਗਾ. ਉੱਥੇ like the cameras in front of it, it's silent, everybody's watching us. Jagraj Singh's answering questions. ਮੈਂ thought ਮੈਂ ਡਿੱਗ ਪੈਣਾ. and I was just about to ask Jagraj Singh, ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਸਿੰਘਾ ਮੈਂ ਬਹਿ ਜਾਵਾਂ ਚੇਅਰ ਤੇ. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ like ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ I'm about to fall. I was really feeling dizzy and I thought I was going to pass out. ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਪੁੱਛ ਬੈਠਾ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਿ something to do with the connection and having a connection with Guru Sahib, that Satgur jagta hai diyo, that our Guru is alive and awake. ਉੱਥੇ ਨਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ. I grabbed the mic and we started talking about that connection with the Guru. ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਿ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਦੁੱਖ ਲੱਗਾ. Somebody said to me about a year ago, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਿਆ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਇਕੱਲਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਕੇਵਲ ਸਾਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਹਾਂਪੁਰਖ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਪਤਾ, ਅਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਖਿਆ. ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰੇ, even I respect ਮਹਾਂਪੁਰਖ, but when I heard these words being said, I thought ਮਨਾ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਸਰੀਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜ ਗਏ ਆ, that they've connected to the body, you know, that they've not realized that even Guru Nanak was in a body and Guru Nanak was the Shabad. ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਦੁੱਖ ਲੱਗਾ. ਉੱਥੇ ਮੈਂ ਕੁਛ ਬੋਲਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ. ਇੱਥੇ ਨਾ when I grabbed the mic then last week on Wednesday, ਮਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਗੱਲ ਯਾਦ ਆ ਗਈ ਨਾ. ਤਾਂ ਮਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਿਆ, we only know, ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਹਾਂਪੁਰਖਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਪਤਾ, ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਮਹਾਂਪੁਰਖ ਹੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਆ. ਤੇ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਖਿਆਲ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਹਲੇ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ. ਹਾਂ ਉੱਤੋਂ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਹੋਊਗੀ ਸਰੀਰ ਕਰਕੇ, ਪਰ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਾਣੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਲੇ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ. ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿੱਦਣ that day we actually read Gurbani from here, then we will say to Guru Nanak in the morning, we will say, oh Guru Nanak, that how about Pacha if I polluted my clothes with urine? ਮੂਤ ਪਲੀਤੀ ਕੱਪੜ ਹੋਏ, ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਬੋਲਣਗੇ ਦੇ ਸਾਬੁਣ ਲਈਏ ਉਹ ਧੋਏ. ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ talks. Ask him a question and if you say to Guru Nanak, oh Guru Nanak, ਭਰੀਏ ਮਤ ਪਾਪਾ ਕੇ ਸੰਗ, oh Guru Nanak, I have filled my mind with so many sins, it's filthy. And Guru Nanak would say, ਉਹ ਧੋਪੇ ਨਾਵੇ ਕੇ ਰੰਗ. ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ would say, ਬੱਚਾ ਤੂੰ ਫਿਕਰ ਕਿਉਂ ਕਰਦਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੂੰ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਉਹਦੀ ਬਾਣੀ, ਤੂੰ ਜਪ ਉਹਦਾ ਨਾਮ, ਪਰ ਤੂੰ ਨਾਮ ਜਪ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਰੰਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ, ਭਾਵ ਉਹਦੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ. Say out his name in love and your inside will be cleaned and cleansed. Gursikh Pyareo, don't stop there. I was remembering, I was telling the Singhs, about 2 years ago I did Katha on Bhai Nandlal Ji. Bhai Nandlal Ji, at the end of the Katha, I said Guru Gobind Singh Ji Pacha was so happy with Bhai Nandlal Ji that Guru Gobind Singh Ji Pacha embraced the Galvakhdi ਵਿੱਚ ਲੈ ਲਿਆ. ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੇ ਭਾਈ ਨੰਦ ਲਾਲ ਨੂੰ, ਮੈਂ ਇੰਨੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਹਿ ਕੇ ਹਟਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਖਿਆਲ ਆ ਗਿਆ, where I read this from, where I heard this Sakhi from, I can't remember if they actually said this, that Guru Gobind Singh Ji hugged him. ਭਾਈ ਨੰਦ ਲਾਲ ਜੀ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਸਟੇਜ ਤੇ ਬੋਲ ਦਿੱਤਾ. And I was kicking myself. I said I should be more careful. Gursikh Pyareo, straight after that Katha tha Hukamnama aaya. Within the Hukamnama, our Guru spoke and says, apne das ko kanth laye rakhiyo jo barak pit mata. Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji spoke straight after. I was thinking, did Guru Gobind Singh Ji truly hug Bhai Nand Lal Ji? And Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji says, apne das ko kanth laye, that he embraces his servants. ਉਹ ਗਲੇ ਨਾਲ ਲਾ ਲੈਂਦਾ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ. ਮਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਇਆ, ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੇ Of course they hugged Bhai Nand Lal Ji. Guru Sahib just confirmed it. There was a bibi, she was high on drugs. She was addicted to drugs, cocaine, heroin. She came to the Singhs to help her. The Singhs helped her. She kicked her drug habit, Guru Sikh Pyareo. After kicking her drug habit, she says no. She says, the Guru is not going to forgive me. I did so many bad things when I was intoxicated. The things I did to try and get those drugs. And the Singh said, and she said to the Singhs, tell me, I'm only going to continue on this path if you can tell me that I will be forgiven by Guru Arjan Dev Ji, by Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And the Singh said, they said, Bhane, this is assi nahi, eh jawab de sakde tenu. He says, we can't tell you this. This is our Bhane, let us make deg. The Guru is alive. The Guru is the Bani Guru Sikh Pyare. You can talk to your Guru today. Unhone deg banai, unhone ardas kiti. The Singh gaya Maharaj di tabiat, they went, and the Singh takes hukamnama. When he opens to take the hukamnama, Guru Sikh Pyare, and a pangti came within that hukamnama, and Guru Arjan Dev Ji Paatshah kehne o tiye, o my doa pichle, o gun bakshale, prab aage marg paave. Guru Arjan Dev Ji says, I've forgiven your past sins. Pichle o gun bakshale, main baksh ditta tenu tiye. Prab aage marg paave. This is now all you have to do is walk forward. Take the strength of this sangat and walk forward. Guru Sikh Pyare, our Guru is alive. Our Guru isn't a book. Ask people like Baba Nand Singh Ji that saw Guru Nanak sit in there. Today, make that relationship. And Guru Sikh Pyare, I forgot where I started. I started to tell this in central London last week. Just before I started to talk, I felt as if the floor was moving. I'm going to fall, I'm going to drop. Guru Sikh Pyare, Maharaj ne inni kirpa kiti that I felt completely rejuvenated. I felt like that I've just slept so many hours. I felt full of life. And I said to the Sangat, I said that just 5 minutes ago I just experienced that I was going to fall over, but the strength of the Sangat, the strength of the Guru, pata hi nahi ki hoya. Guru Sikh inni kirpa hui, uthe suit saat baithe ta Singh ne uthe jakare chhad ditte last week in central London. Uthe jakareyan di gunja pੈ giyan. And that's the strength of Sangat, Guru Sikh Pyareo. Sangat da kadi bhi na saath ਆਪਾਂ ਛੱਡੀਏ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਆਪਣਾ ਸੰਗਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਸਦਾ. And you can feel that power today as well within the sangat. And that's the power of our Guru. Khair Guru Sikh Pyareo. The Bani, the journey continues. Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Paatshah Gurgaddi te baithe. Kinna satkar Bani da, everybody knows the Sakhiyan. Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Paatshah ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਹੈ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੰਗਤ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਜਰਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਜਪਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਪਾਠ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਐਨ ਸ਼ੁੱਧ ਬਾਣੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੁਣਾ ਸਕੂਗਾ. ਇੱਕ ਸਿੱਖ ਭਾਈ ਗੋਪਾਲਾ ਜੀ ਅੱਗੇ ਆਏ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਹਰਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਸਿੱਖ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਤਖਤ ਤੋਂ ਉੱਪਰ ਬਿਠਾਇਆ ਕਰਕੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਉਹਨੇ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਨੀ ਸੀ ਕਿਉਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਾਣੀ ਹੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਹੈ. ਸਰੀਰ ਨਾਮ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਆਪਣੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਹੈ. Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Paatshah sits by Gopala Ji higher than them. ਤਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਭਾਈ ਗੋਪਾਲਾ ਜੀ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ, when they start to read Japji Sahib da Paath with so much love and affection, with so much connection, with complete no desire, ਨਿਹਕਾਮੀ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਨਿਰਬਾਨ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਗਾਵ ਹੋ ਕਰਤੇ ਕਾ ਨਿਮਕ ਸਿਮਰਤ ਜਿਤ ਛੂਟੇ. If you completely desireless, that's what Nirban means. Nirban Kirtan gav ho karte ka nimak simrat jit shute. And Paatshah says it'll just take an instant for you to escape from the jam. There was so much ras that Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Paatshah starts to move away from their throne. And suddenly, a while later, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Paatshah comes and sits back on the throne. And when Bhai Gopala Ji finishes the Japji Sahib, Guru Har Gobind Singh Ji Sahib Ji Paatshah go and get this beautiful horse with the kathi, with the saddle, and put it and give it forward to Bhai Gopala Ji. बात सिखां दे पुछण तो बाद कहंदे महाराज एक खेड की एक कौतक की, why did you start moving away from your takat? कहंदे असी इन्ने कहंदे I was taken away so much with the connection that how he was reading Gurbani, he was actually becoming one with Guru Nanak, that I started to move away to make place for him to sit on the throne. पर फिर ਉਹਦੇ ਮਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਛਾ ਆ ਗਈ, desire came for the horse, so I've given him the horse. ਇਤਨਾ ਸਤਿਕਾਰ ਬਾਣੀ ਦਾ. Guru Har Rai Patsha. Guru Har Rai Patsha sitting on the throne, Gursikh Pyareo. Udro Sangta Arya ne Baro, and the Sangta are coming from outside and they are singing Gurbani. Guru Har Rai Patsha sitting on the throne. Ekdam Patsha ji, they got up straight away from their throne, from the takhat. Why? And when Guru Har Rai Patsha gets up from the takhat, they actually hurt their knee. And Sikh said, Maharaj, what happened? They are standing and reading the Bani of Guru Nanak. For the respect of Gurbani, they said, I've stood up as well. This much satkar Gursikh Pyare for Bani. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Patsha, Janga Juddha to Vele Hoke. Patsha, look what they've gone through, Gursikh Pyare. Anandpur da Kila Shadya, they've given up, they've walked away from Anandpur Sahib. We've gone through all these Sakhiyan within these last few weeks. They've come away, Chamkor Gadi de vich, a battle took place. Sikhan de gharan vich reh ke, akhirla jang lade Patsha ji, Muktasar da jang. Went through the last battle, which is Muktasar jang. Gursikh Pyare Guru Gobind Singh Ji Patsha, throughout their life they went. Throughout their life, nobody saw a tear in the eyes of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Patsha. So many things Guru Gobind Singh Ji Patsha saw before their eyes, but not once. They heard the messenger come and bring them the message back and say that they shote shabs, that shaheed kitte gaye. Patsha, never did Patsha's eyes fill with tears. Bhai Veer Singh says, kende asi sari umar takriban la diti to go and find out. They said, I wanted to go and visit each place that Guru Gobind Singh Ji Patsha stepped. And they said, I went and asked and found out and did so much courage and research to find out, did ever Guru Gobind Singh Ji Patsha show sorrow in their life? And it says, not once did I find that they showed sorrow in their life, but look what they went through. 9 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਉਮਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਤੋਰਿਆ ਤੇ ਮਾਤਾ ਜੀ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ, ਦੇ 4 ਪੁੱਤਰ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ, so much people, so many things they saw. But today, when Guru Gobind Singh Ji Patsha, Muktasar di dharti uppar, and at this place, the battle of Muktasar is taking place, Singh Badawa de ke chal gaye ne. The Singhs have left Guru Gobind Singh Ji Patsha. They have written on a piece of paper that we are not your Sikhs. You are not our Guru. And Gursikh Pyareo, those them same Singhs, they've come back by Maha Singh the Jathedar, by Maha Singh Joojde Gursikh Pyareo. Shaheed hone wale ne, par kuch saah reh gaye ne. Some breaths are still left within the body of Bhai Maha Singh. And there's so many Singhs that have been shaheed. Guru Gobind Singh Ji today, they've come down on this field of Muktasar. And when Guru Gobind Singh Ji Patsha, Gursikh Pyareo, is walking through our history rites throughout their life, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Patsha now is at the age of about 40 years old. Guru Gobind Singh Ji is looking towards one direction. What do they see? They see your arm. Ek baan nazar aayi Guru Gobind Singh Ji Patsha nu, us baan vich ek kada aaya. They see that there's a kada upon this arm, and they're saying, "Eh vi sada Singh hai, Guru Gobind Singh Ji." Guru Gobind Singh Ji looks towards the arm. They look around, they turn around, and they see a body. They see only a body, no legs, no head. That body's been cut. The head has been cut off. The arms have been cut off. The legs have been cut off. Guru Gobind Singh Ji saying, "Eh vi mera Singh hai." Why? Because they can see the gatra upon the body. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Patsha walks further, and Guru Gobind Singh Ji sees the cease. They can only see the head, and they can say, "Eh vi sada Singh hai." Why? Karke kesa vich nishaniyan ode vich kanga aaya. They can see the kanga in the case. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Patsha walks over even further. They can only see the bottom part of the body. They can only see some legs. Guru Gobind Singh Ji kende, "Eh vi sada Singh hai." Kende, this is also our Singh. Kende, ede lattan upar kende kashera hai. Sikh da sara sਰੀਰ ਭਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਨਿਸ਼ਾਨੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ ਕਲਗੀਧਰ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੇ ਪਛਾਣਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ. And as Guru Gobind Singh Ji Patsha is walking across, and Guru Gobind Singh Ji Patsha looks and turns around and sees who? And they see Bhai Maha Singh. And ਅੱਜ ਆਪਣਾ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਲਿਖਦਾ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ, ਸਾਰੀ ਉਮਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਥਰੂ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਏ, ਪਰ ਅੱਜ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦੇ ਕਲਗੀਧਰ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦੇ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਜ ਅਥਰੂ ਆ ਗਏ ਨੇ. Guru Gobind Singh Ji's eyes today are filled with tears. Why? Because ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਮਾਂ ਦਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਘਰ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਵੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹੀ ਬੱਚਾ ਭੁੱਲ ਭੁਲਾ ਕੇ, that same child that has left the house of his mother, that same ਬੱਚਾ that comes back home one day, ਜਦੋਂ ਬੱਚਾ ਵਾਪਸ ਘਰ ਆਵੇ ਨਾ, ਉਸ ਦਿਨ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ ਉਸ ਮਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਦੀ ਹੱਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ. On that day the mother's happiness is so limitless, she cries in happiness. And ਅੱਜ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਰੋਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਕਿਉਂ? ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਭੁੱਲਿਆ ਸਿੱਖ ਅੱਜ ਘਰ ਵਾਪਸ ਆ ਗਿਆ. ਸੁਤ ਅਪਰਾਧ ਕਰਤਾ ਹੈ ਜੇਤੇ, ਜਨਨੀ ਚੀਤ ਨਾ ਰਾਖਸ ਤੇ, ਤੇਰਾ ਮਈਆ ਹਉ ਬਾਰਕ ਤੇਰਾ, ਕਾਹੇ ਨਾ ਖੰਡ ਸਭ ਗੁਣ ਮੇਰਾ. ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ has gone over to ਭਾਈ ਮਹਾ ਸਿੰਘ, ਤੇ ਭਾਈ ਮਹਾ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੇ ਸੀਸ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੱਥਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੈ ਲਿਆ. ਭਾਈ ਮਹਾ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੇ ਸੀਸ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਗੁੱਡੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਰੱਖ ਲਿਆ. ਤਾਂ ਭਾਈ ਮਹਾ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਹੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ, ਰਾਮ ਮਈਆ ਓ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਹਉ ਬਾਰਕ ਤੇਰਾ, I am your child ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਕਾਹੇ ਨਾ ਖੰਡਸ ਅਵਗੁਣ ਮੇਰਾ, why don't you just destroy my sins? I left you ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ, will you forgive me? ਜੇ ਅਤ ਕਰੋਪ ਕਰੇ ਕਰ ਧਾਇਆ, ਤਾਪੀ ਝੀਤ ਨਾ ਰਾਖਸ ਮਾਇਆ. Even if a child goes over to hit his own mother, ਜੇ ਅਤ ਕਰੋਪ ਕਰੇ ਕਰ ਧਾਇਆ, ਜੇ ਅਤ ਕਰੋਪ, ਅਤ means ਬਾਲਾਈ, ਜੇ ਅਤ ਕਰੋਪ means anger, ਜੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਗੁੱਸੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਬੱਚਾ ਆਪਣੀ ਮਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਮਾਰਨ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਵੇ, even goes to strike his own mother. ਜੇ ਅਤ ਕਰੋਪ ਕਰੇ ਕਰ ਧਾਇਆ, ਤਾਪੀ ਚੀਤ ਨਾ ਰੱਖ ਸਮਾਇਆ. But even then a mother will forgive. Even then a mother won't keep it within her mind. Such was Guru Gobind Singh Ji Padshah. So why wouldn't we want Guru Gobind Singh Ji Padshah as our father, as our Rakha? Why wouldn't we want Guru Gobind Singh Ji Padshah that stands over our head? So Guru Sikh Pyaro, just sing after me. We're going to sing these lines. Why wouldn't we want Guru Gobind Singh Ji Padshah to be our Rakha, our protector? What would we have to worry about when we've got Guru Gobind Singh Ji Padshah as a father? So Guru Sikh Pyaro, सारे ने गाना नाल बाज राल के, after das we'll say it first. तू मेरा राखा जी सबनी थाई सबनी थाई, 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 तू मेरा राखा जी सबनी थाई सबनी थाई. ता पाओ के हा काड़ा जियो, ता पाओ के हा काड़ा जियो, ता पाओ काड़ा जियो, ता पाओ के हा काड़ा जियो. What fear will we have left if we embrace Guru Gobind Singh Ji Padshah as our father? Ta pao keha, pao, what fear will we have left? Ta pao keha kada jiya, kada means what anxiety, what worries will we have left when we take Guru Gobind Singh Ji Padshah Maharaj Ji as a father? Such a father, the only time that he had a tear, when a beloved Sikh came back. Guru Sikh Pyaro, I was now going to go through the last part when Guru Gobind Singh Ji Padshah gives the Guru Gaddi, but I think I'll end up rushing it and not doing justice to it, because it's a beautiful conversation full of vairag, that conversation that took place at the Antala Sama when Guru Gobind Singh Ji ne sreer karke Sikhan nu vishoda dena siga, when Guru Gobind Singh Ji was going to leave in their bodily form, that vairag, that emotion the Sikhs were going through at that moment. So if I start it now, I'm not going to do justice to it, so I don't want to spoil it. So Maharaj Ji Kirpa Karan that we actually continue this next week. So Guru Sikh Pyaro, so I must have made many mistakes. Please forgive me. Forgive me as your brother, forgive me as your child. Guru Sikh Pyaro, eho jiyo. Just like you have today and focused upon the Guru's word. Stay in Chardi Kala Gursikh Pyareo and keep connecting to the Guru's Bani. ਸੋ ਇੱਕ ਨੇ ਅਨੇਕਾਂ ਹੀ ਗਲਤੀਆਂ ਹੋ ਗਈਆਂ ਹੋਣਗੀਆਂ, ਅਣਜਾਣ ਬੱਚਾ ਸਮਝ ਕੇ ਮਾफ़ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ। ਸੋ ਆਓ ਬਖਸ਼ੋ ਅਸੀਸ ਤੇ ਗੱਜ ਵੱਜ ਕੇ ਸਾਰ ਨੇ ਆਖਣਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ